A decade after the shale gas boom cushioned the blow of the Great Recession across our region, the natural gas industry is building a foundation for future growth. Billions of dollars are being invested in midstream infrastructure to move gas to market, and upstream drilling activity has strengthened a bit. Of course, the big longer-term play may be downstream, with Shell Chemicals' decision to move forward with its ethane cracker in Beaver County. So there's a lot to talk about as the industry convenes for Shale Insight 2017, the big annual conference on tap for September 27th and the 28th in downtown Pittsburgh. David Spigelmyer is back with us. He's president of the Marcellus Shale Coalition. Welcome. Good to have you back.
Great to be with you, Bill.
Here we are again, right?
We are on the doorstep of Shale Insight 2017.
Yeah, so had you down here last year talking about it? What's sort of the pulse of the industry right now? How are things going?
You know, there's a bit of a cautious optimism. Rig counts have stepped up a little bit. Prices improved a little bit from the consumer standpoint. Prices are way lower than what they were in 2008. I think our local utilities are in excess of 80% less on their purchased natural gas rates than they were in 2008. So that's been a huge winner for downstream consumers. I know you've talked a lot about some of the opportunities that are being presented downstream, and we're going to spend some time at our conference this coming week talking about those opportunities. We've got leaders from government, leaders from academia, leaders from industry that are going to shine a light on some of that. I know we have Secretary Acosta, the Secretary of Labor from the federal government, going to talk about the American worker and what it's taken to rebuild infrastructure, the investments that are taking place, and the role of our building trades to help make that happen. That's a really key point of our conference that I think will be exciting.
Well, and that's the part that's gotten a little blurred, because with the softening of the market, the low prices for a while, the softening of the drilling activity, there might have been a sense that all this employment opportunity was drying up, but there really seemed to be a shift. The drilling kind of backed off, but then there's all this issue about how to move it to market. The investment in the midstream part has been ongoing, hasn't it?
It's absolutely critical, and the investment has been billions of dollars spent in Pennsylvania. One, to manage liquids. You've talked a lot on this show before about the Shell petrochemical facility, billions of dollars of investment on management of the liquids being produced in the southwest part of Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, and northern West Virginia, but also the infrastructure to get natural gas, the dry natural gas from the northern part of Pennsylvania into primary consuming regions like Philadelphia, that today is almost 100% dependent on Gulf Coast supplies of natural gas to come into that region. So opportunities are immense, and we've got wonderful opportunities for Pennsylvania workers to fulfill that role, to modernize their infrastructure, to build the gathering networks, to get that gas from the wells that have been drilled in Pennsylvania and to get it to markets in PA.
Well, and that distribution system has to be critical, because if you don't have a market, why pull it out of the ground to begin with?
Absolutely. We've done a great job in trying to move some of our power generation to natural gas. That's cleaned our air. Few know it, but we're at a 25-year low in carbon dioxide emissions, primarily because we're using more natural gas in power generation, and it's kept the prices of our power generation down, which ultimately leads to consumer savings. And we're going to have at the conference, Stanford University folks are going to be with the conference, a great keynote presentation on energy poverty and how natural gas has lessened consumer costs and allow those with income challenge to be able to meet their energy needs and have more disposable income. I think that's a great segment for our conference, and I'm anxious for folks that are attending to take some of those bullet points back to be able to share with their public about how affordable and abundant natural gas is helping not only their region but our entire nation.
Well, after you think about it, yeah, save a few $100 a month on natural gas through the winter here in Pennsylvania. That adds up for everybody, but especially for those families that are already stretched to try to pay those bills.
Absolutely right. They spend far more of their disposable income on energy, and today with natural gas rates anywhere from 54 to 81% less than what they were in 2008, that's been a huge, huge winner for our region and for our state.
So I mentioned at the beginning that really it was that shale gas boom that sort of carried our region through the Great Recession and kind of strengthened us coming out of it. Now the midstream has been ongoing, as you mentioned, billions of dollars of investment. So when you look at those different opportunities within those three plays, where does downstream stack up in terms of the potential impact this industry could have on the region?
Bill, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would tell you I think it's the most exciting of all of them. You know, we've talked for the last year or more about the Shell petrochemical facility. We've spent the last 4 decades talking about the downturn in manufacturing for our region. I think today we've got a birth announcement for new manufacturing in our region, primarily in plastics. Natural gas, a lot of folks view natural gas as heating your home, cooking your food, drying your clothes, heating your hot water, but it produces nearly every, is used in the manufacturing process for nearly every consumer product we touch. All steel, glass, plastics, chemicals, fertilizers for our food, powdered metals, pharmaceutical medications. Again, it's just about everything you touch, including the building of windmills for electric generation, for solar panels. We're a great partner with the renewable industry, contrary to what some may want to think.
Well, so a lot to talk about, plenty more than we could cover in this segment. If people want to come to Shale Insight, how do they find out more?
Yeah, www.shaleinsight.com. It should be a great conference, a lot of exciting speakers, and we are going to spend a little time getting an update on where we stand with the petrochemical facility in Beaver County and the jobs that would ultimately be generated at that location as well.
All right, exciting stuff. Dave Spigelmyer from the Marcellus Shale Coalition, thanks so much.
Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
Next up, another upcoming conference that's putting the greening of our region into the national spotlight. Stay with us.